Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining me today. And today I would like to tell you about the relationships, how to determine whether you have enough skills or whether you have a good karma in order to establish the relationships with the significant other. And significant other can be a different person outlined by the horoscope. So we know that there are 9 planets in the horoscope and there are 12 houses of the horoscope. So each planet and each house represent a significant other in our life. Let's start with the planets. So Sun represents father and authority figures, Moon represents mother, Mars represents siblings and enemies, Jupiter represents kids and our teachers, Mercury represents uncles and aunts and our friends, as well as business partners, Venus represents female friends and lovers, Saturn represents our elders, employees, and secret enemies. Rahu represents maternal grandparents, and Ketu represents paternal grandparents. Now, when you know about the planets, let's speak about the houses because that will play a big role in our future analysis. So, houses, first house represents yourself, second house represents your family, third house represents your siblings and younger ones or your friends. Fourth house represents your mother, fifth house represents kids and those who follow you. Sixth house represents your enemies, seventh house represents your spouse, eighth and 12th houses represent those who can bring troubles into your life, damages or losses. 10th house represents authorities and 11th house represents friends. Now, when you know about planets and about the houses, how can we determine whether we have a good skill in order to establish relationships with our family, with our mother, father, grandparents, our significant others, and what will be the outcome of that relationships, which is called karma. So skill is coming from the karma which we inherit or bring from our past lives. This karma is shown on the natal chart. So the whole natal chart represents the karma which we brought from the past life. Now, when we speak about the skill, we have to consider the placement of the Lord of each house. For example, if we are considering the relationships skill between you and your mother, you have to take into consideration the placement of the Lord of the first house of your horoscope and of the Lord of the fourth house of the horoscope, which represents your mother. Now, when you are seeing, if you count from the Lord of the first house of the horoscope to the Lord of the fourth house of the horoscope, how many houses between them? For example, if the Lord of the first house of the horoscope is sitting in the first house and the Lord of the fourth house of the horoscope is sitting in the fourth house, if you count from first to fourth, it will be 4 to 10 placement. So from the Lord of the first house, the Lord of the fourth house is in the fourth house, and from the Lord of the fourth house, the Lord of the first house is in the 10th house. So 4-10 is a good placement. Now we're speaking about the placement. 4-10 placement, 7-7 placement, 1-1 placement, 3-11 placement, 5-9 placement. These are good placement that indicate good skill in a relationship. Okay, and I won't be going into details here because it's a big topic. I'm just giving you a general explanation. So these placements are positive. And if you're finding the Lord of the first house, which represents you, and the Lord of any other house of your chart in those placements, it means that you possess good skills in relation towards that person that is represented by that house of the horoscope. Now, if we consider the placement 2-12 or 6-8, it means that the skill is missing, that you need to work on the skill. 2-12 indicates that you may be lost in the relationships, you may not understand the person, you may feel lost, you may feel in doubt, and the person may bring you irritation, the person may bring you losses in life as well. 6-8 is a transformative combination through stress, maybe through quarrels, through a lot of battles, and may cause some sickness, may cause also losses, cause a lot of stress and depression. So you have to consider. And if you are seeing that the Lord of the first house in relation to the Lord of any other house, like let's take for example, towards the Lord of the 7th house of the horoscope, which represents your spouse, in the relation 6 to 8, it means that you are, as an individual, is missing the skill in relation towards your partner or towards other people, because the 7th house and the Lord of the 7th house represents your spouse and significant others in your life. Now, what to do in this case, you need first of all to work on the skill, see where the misunderstanding, what is the root of the misunderstanding, improve or support the Lord of the 1st house of the horoscope, see what kind of influence is coming towards the Lord of the 7th house of the horoscope and the Lord of the 1st house of the horoscope in order to improve that influence. And you can go by the planetary improvement or improvement of the house. Both of this is posted on my Instagram. You can find the posts. Also, for the 1st house of the horoscope, it's very beneficial always to work on self-realization, to engage yourself in spiritual practices, which improves the whole horoscope and all of the planetary interactions, as well as psychology, because psychology studies the relationships, spiritual psychology, which studies the relationships on a deeper level, and spirituality itself. Also keep in mind that it's very important to include mantra meditation in your practice, which also improves the planets and the condition of the houses. Now, each house and each planet has its own remedy. Therefore, I would recommend again to refer to the post on my Instagram related to the planets and the houses of the horoscope in order to improve them. And if you have any specific questions, you can always come back to me. And if you need a personal consultation or personal vision on your situation, you can always book a consultation with me. Now, when we're speaking about the outcome of the relationship, the outcome will depend on the condition of the house itself. So, for example, if you would like to see how your relationships with your mother is, you need to consider, first of all, the placements of the lords of the 1st house of the horoscope and the mother, 4th house of the horoscope. Then indicate the skill, if the skill is there. And if the skill is okay, then see the outcome by the condition of the 4th house. And the condition of the 4th house is judged by the aspects on the 4th house. If the aspects are from the positive planets, from the benefics, such as Jupiter, such as the lords of 5th or 9th houses of the horoscope, then the relationships are supported by the positive energy. If there are aspects from the malefic planets, Mars, Saturn, Rahu, or if there is Ketu sitting in them, but Ketu, it's like it can bring different results, so we won't speak about Ketu here. But if you're seeing that there are aspects or placement of any malefic planets in the house that you're considering in relation to yourself, then that house may require improvement, because the outcome of the relationships, meaning the past life karma that was brought by you into this life, is not supporting the positive relationship and requires improvement, purification. And again, that improvement and purification comes from the spiritual practice, from understanding the laws of the relationships, the laws of nature, living by respecting the laws of nature and the relationships and the laws of karma, and transforming all destructive and negative patterns that you are seeing in the relationships between you and the significant other. It's a pretty broad topic that I pretty wide analysis that is used when we look at the relationships and compatibility, but you can also do it just from the glance. You can see which areas require improvement and how you can help yourself in order to move on or get out of a conflict situation or from struggles in the relationships. If you found this video useful, I hope you did. Please give me your likes, share it with your friends. Relationships is a very important part of our lives, because relationships bring the quality of life to us, and we start with ourselves. So we start the relationships with ourselves, and relationships with God are very important because God is within us. And then from that relationships we expand and produce the energy and vision for other people, whether to benefit from it or to suffer. And hopefully you're doing your best to bring joy, happiness, and love towards your significant others and outside to everybody who is around you. I'm wishing you all the best, and I will be looking forward to seeing you in my future videos. All the best to you.